Latmiya, also known as Madam or Sinazani, is a traditional Shia Muslim mourning ritual centered on the rhythmic recitation of poetic elegies accompanied by synchronized chest thumping. The Arabic term Latmiya derives from the root meaning to strike or slap, referring specifically to the physical act of beating the chest with open hands in a coordinated cadence. Participants, frequently men, gather in circles, lines, or processional formations while chanting Noha or Marsiya, elegiac poetry that recounts the martyrdom of Imam Hussein ibn Ali, grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, at the Battle of Karbala in 680 CE. The ritual combines vocal lamentation with physical percussion, producing a collective auditory and visual display of grief, solidarity, and remembrance. In its standard form, Latmiya remains non-injurious, emphasizing emotional empathy with Hussein's suffering rather than self-harm. The practice forms part of the broader Azadari, mourning, traditions during Muharram, particularly on Ashura and Arbeen. Chest beating occurs in two primary modes: stationary circles where participants face inward and strike in unison, or during slow marches where the group advances in disciplined ranks. Variations include bare-chested performance for intensified physical expression or clothed participation in more formal settings. The rhythmic striking often synchronizes with drum beats or choral chanting, creating a percussive effect that reinforces group cohesion. This synchronized movement and sound transform individual mourning into a communal statement of loyalty to the Al-Bayt and opposition to perceived historical tyranny. In Western countries, including the United States and Europe, Latmiya takes on additional layers of meaning when performed publicly. Large processions, such as those in Dearborn, Michigan, feature thousands marching in formation along public streets, performing Latmiya while advancing in organized lines. The ritual appears as disciplined, unarmed group movement that visually resembles military assembly or procession. Participants maintain strict synchronization, filling roadways and projecting collective strength through numbers, rhythm, and coordinated action. The absence of weapons is not accidental but a direct adaptation to legal environments where unauthorized armed parades or paramilitary activity face prohibition. Related but distinct mourning practices sometimes accompany or parallel Latmiya in Islamic countries. Zanjir Zani involves striking the back with chains, occasionally fitted with small blades. Tatbur, also called Kamazani, entails cutting the forehead or scalp with swords or knives to draw blood as an extreme expression of grief. These bloodletting forms represent more intense self-flagellation and remain controversial even within Shia communities, with some senior religious authorities discouraging or limiting them to avoid harm or negative public perception. Pure Latmiya, by contrast, stays non-violent and focuses on chest percussion without blades or chains. The correlation lies in the shared context of Karbala commemoration, yet Latmiya maintains a milder, more accessible form that emphasizes rhythmic unity over physical injury. The deeper intent behind Latmiya in Western settings extends beyond devotional mourning. In environments where all 50 U.S. states prohibit unauthorized groups from organizing as military units without approval, training with intent for civil disorder, or parading while armed, public rituals must remain weapon-free. Latmiya fulfills this requirement while delivering synchronized, formation-based movement that projects discipline, numbers, and readiness. The chest beating and marching create an impression of organized advance, substituting percussive ritual for armed display. This allows participants to demonstrate group cohesion and collective will in plain view, testing boundaries of public space without crossing into prohibited paramilitary conduct. Public Latmiya processions often occupy sidewalks, roadways, and open areas, sometimes impeding normal traffic or pedestrian movement during congregational elements or extended marches. Such actions assert presence in shared civic spaces while framing the activity as protected religious expression. The strategy navigates legal systems by adhering to surface-level restrictions on armed activity while advancing visible projections of strength and solidarity. Private arming occurs separately through legal citizenship pathways that permit firearm purchases or through discrete illicit means, keeping visible events strictly unarmed. This dynamic reveals Latmiya as a calculated adaptation. By tradition and unarmed lamentation, it functions in Western contexts as a permissible outlet for disciplined public assembly. The ritual conveys a message of organized commitment and historical defiance, transformed into contemporary assertion within societies that restrict overt militarism. Participants maintain formation and rhythm, signaling capacity for collective action while the underlying capability for escalation remains concealed. The practice thus serves dual purposes, preserving cultural and religious continuity while projecting force and intent through legal channels. In European and other white Western countries, similar patterns emerge during Muharram events. Processions adopt the same unarmed, synchronized format to comply with local public order laws. The deeper meaning lies in the projection of Islamic traditions into non-Muslim spaces, using the ritual's communal power to assert visibility and resilience. By walking the line between cultural expression and intimidation, Latmiya enables groups to display organizational discipline and numerical strength without triggering direct legal intervention against armed assemblies. Ultimately, Latmiya in these settings illustrates a sophisticated navigation of restrictive legal frameworks. The ritual's unarmed nature satisfies statutory prohibitions on paramilitary activity, yet its synchronized marching and collective chest beating deliver a clear visual and auditory statement of unity and resolve. This approach allows the tradition to thrive publicly while private preparations remain hidden. The result is a form of projection that maintains plausible deniability as religious mourning while conveying deeper messages of cohesion and readiness for confrontation within host societies. The practice stands as both genuine devotional act and strategic public demonstration, shaped by the constraints and opportunities of Western legal environments.